There are so many cool cards in existence. I have a problem. I like to collect just about everything, and it's hard to decide because there's so many awesome cards. But there are also a lot of really, really bad cards. And today, I'm counting down 8 different categories of the worst types of cards. Let's take a dive. Hey everyone, welcome back to another Market Movers video. My name is Tyler Nethercott, better known as Teapot, and today, this one is gonna feel a little bit negative, a little bit angry, but it's not meant to sort of be negative as much as a hope that the manufacturers, I don't know, maybe they're listening. Maybe they'll see some of the things in this video and they'll hear the voice of the collector and understand that there are some cards that could be really cool, but because of different factors, they are not cool at all. In fact, they're some of the worst cards of all time, and I'm gonna take you through some of those cards today. We're gonna walk through 8 different categories of cards, and I'm gonna have visual examples for every single one to show you what ruined different cards over the years. So we're gonna get right into it, and if you want access to all of this data, you wanna go check out all these cards, do all kinds of research like this, you gotta get Market Movers. You can go to marketmoversapp.com, and if you use code DIVE, D-I-V-E, you'll get 2 weeks completely free, and then 20% off for life, any subscription. So let's get into it. The first thing, the first category of cards that are the worst of all time, and I would say these cards in particular may truly be the worst cards ever made, and that is what I call faux grails, and specifically, I'm talking about the 2021 Topps Through the Years insert set. Yes, this is an insert set. 1 in 7 packs, in fact. Not rare at all. These cards are not rare at all. They're called Through the Years, and so I pop this open and you say, oh my goodness, a serial numbered to 5, Hank Aaron on-card auto from Luminaries. This is such a cool card, but that's not what the card is. This is an insert. That's the card printed on another card with this Topps Through the Years on the bottom of it. And these cards, I say, are potentially the worst of all time because they confuse and deceive so many people when shopping for these cards online. And I'm gonna say something right now. Shame on you, Pops and Son Collectibles. Shame on you, and so many others, for putting autograph in the listing of this card. 2021 Topps Hank Aaron Through the Years Luminaries autograph Braves. This is not an autograph. This card is not an autograph. This is just it's an insert that looks like it's an autograph, and it sold for $33. And I'm telling you right now, you will not find another insert on planet Earth that was 1 in 7 packs in an ultra-modern product, in a Topps base paper product that has a 1 in 7 pack Hank Aaron card insert that sells for $33. This should be a $1 card, a $1 card. Now take a look at this one. This is the Ohtani. This one arguably even more deceptive, potentially even more deceptive. This looks like a definitive auto Ohtani, and it says definitive Through the Years. It sold for $66. Are you kidding me? $66. Somebody thought that was an auto. Here's another one of the Hank Aaron's. This time it's slabbed as Through the Years, and somebody still paid $50 for this card. And I can go down the list. Let's just keep looking at some of these. You've got this Derek Jeter, you've got this Pete Alonso, all of them. Why did they make this set? Look at this Aaron Judge. Inception, it looks like an Inception patch auto, RPA in fact, and I will give this person credit. Thank you. Facsimile reprint, it still sold for $10, which is crazy to me. I don't know why somebody would pay that much money for these cards. This one looks like a Mike Trout Dynasty card. It absolutely, especially that angle with the busy background and everything, it's like that person knew what they were doing. Then again, they did put reprint, but they put Dynasty Patch Auto 1 of 1 in the listing title. Now that one only sold for $6.50, but this is crazy. I bet if I sort by price, I wanna see what the most expensive sale of one of these cards has been. All right, so I don't understand what's going on here. This says 2021 Topps Transcendent, but then this says Through the Years Auto. So this does look like this was a real auto. That doesn't have the background. But this card, I'm assuming something crazy happened here. Somebody shill bid this card. There's no way. PSA 10, it says reprint right in the title, to sell for $2,500. But on Golden, through the years, I mean, so look at this, Golden. Like, Golden's got to be better than this. They got to let people know what this card is. This got 62 bids on auction a year ago, less than a year ago, and sold for $2,300. These faux grails, there are other sets like this out there, but none as egregious as this one, as I'm aware of. You let me know down in the comments what you think of this, and are there other sets that you're aware of like this? Because we need to get the word out, and Topps, never do this again, ever. It's confusing, it's deceptive, and I don't like it. And it reminds me of the second one on my list, which is, this is gonna be a little more polarizing. I'm not a fan. Some of you will say you probably are a fan, but I'm gonna talk about reprints now. Reprints. So what is a reprint? It's when a card that already existed gets basically remade, many times with at least some kind of visual indicator on the card that it's different. But in this case, I'm looking at the Michael Jordan 1986 Fleer, and I can tell you these have caused issues for people. These were pack pulled from Fleer products, and you can't really see it here. I'm going to blow it up even more for you, but you can see here, this says Ultra Decade 1986 to 1996 in foil on the card. This set was called Decade of Excellence, and they actually put it into Fleer Ultra, regular base Fleer, which is what this one is. And you can see this here. And it says Fleer. And then the last one was metal, and these are probably the easiest to tell because the finish on them is definitely that metallic finish, and it says Metal Decade. And then they made another set the next year. You can see Fleer Decade of Excellence, but I don't get it. Like, don't just remake the exact same card and put it into a new set and confuse people. When these are raw at shows, people get deceived, they get confused, they don't know what they have, or they get really excited and think they have a rookie card and they don't actually have a rookie card. It just creates confusion, and I don't think there's a point to it. If you want to take that card and create an artistic rendition like the Topps Project 70 or Topps Project 2020, that's cool. In my opinion, that's actually really cool because it's obviously not the original rookie card. But in this case, these definitely confuse people. Mantle is one that has tons of reprints. Topps has done this over and over again. You'll see them year over year. Here's one from the 1964 set that was remade in 1996. Now, it does have this little foil stamp on it. So that's definitely a key, is you've got to make it painfully obvious that this card isn't what it looks like. But even still, it's just not that interesting. You're just taking something that already existed and reinserting it into a new product. Now, for those who have been watching this channel for a little bit, I went to the Chantilly card show last year to attempt, unsuccessfully, to buy cards for Cards HQ while I was at that show. And somebody astutely pointed out that in one of the value bins, I thought I had a Drew Brees rookie card when in fact it was a reprint. Now, take a look at this card. Take a moment just to assess it. The top 2001 rookie Topps rookie card, Drew Brees. Here's the logo, everything, right? Now I come here, 2001 rookie Topps rookie card, Drew Brees, the logo. Everything on this card is the same. Everything on this card is the same, except the back that says 2012 Topps. So, and it does say reprint. So I got duped. I was just scrolling through and trying to go fast, and I was on a time crunch. And somebody pointed in the comments and said, I'm pretty sure that Drew Brees was a reprint. So even I got, the wool pulled over my eyes with a reprint. I don't like reprints personally. I like the artistic renditions, but I don't like when they just take a card and put a stamp on it and do something else with it. It's not cool. Don't do that anymore, in my opinion. Do you like reprints? Let me know down below. Okay, third category. This is one that I railed on a little bit recently, so I'm going to revisit it briefly, but I'm calling these junk relic cards. Junk relic cards, this is when you get a patch that's not from anything, and you get it, a napkin patch, what we call a napkin patch, single color, not from any player, or player worn with these bogus stripes. There's all kinds of examples of this. You guys have heard me talk about it before. So how about this Chet Holmgren National Treasures Rookie Patch Auto? Now, it does have a real on-card auto on it. I'll give it that. It's numbered to 99. This is the true RPA vertical. This card just ended for $6,117. But if I turn this card over and I zoom in here, it says the enclosed officially licensed material is not associated with any specific player, game, or event. So while the patch does look pretty cool, it's definitely not like a junk napkin patch on the front. That would be terrible if this was just all one white jersey piece here. It's not from any specific player, and somebody paid $6,000, over $6,000. It's an auto, it's from a prestigious set. I wouldn't get as angry about this one as I did the Wemby that sold, but still, I don't like those, I don't like that. I don't understand the point of it. It's not even a cool design element at that point. It's just deceptive, again, and I don't like deceptive things with the hobby. All right, let's take a look at this. Donruss Kings, here's just unlicensed card. unlicensed Chris Bryant, and then just this gray jersey piece in here. And then finally, these are terrible. They've done this in basketball and football, rookie sweaters. I don't even know that these have been worn by the players. They just call them rookie sweaters. It's just a black piece of sweater in here with a little bit of this Carolina blue color in it. You don't even get to see anything. Junk relics, definitely some of the worst cards on planet Earth. And sweater card, I don't know who would want this. I just don't. Even kids, like, why would they want a sweater card? I don't really understand the appeal or why the manufacturers think that those are cool. All right, moving on to junk autos, and I've got a bunch of examples here. So we're going to talk about a couple of different things here. Similar to the relic tiers, you've got on-card autos, and then you've got sticker autos. And sticker auto, like this Tyrese Maxey, is when the player gets a sheet of labels, label stickers, and they sign the stickers, and they go back to the manufacturer, and then the manufacturer decides how they want to use those and stick them onto various cards. And unfortunately, Prism, which is obviously one of the more notable iconic sets, probably the iconic set from the Panini era, has always had sticker autos on all of these rookie autos, which sort of devalues them. And in some people's eyes, myself included, you don't even necessarily want them. I'd just rather have a base parallel that's really cool from Prism as opposed to the sticker auto. But in addition to the sticker auto, there's different ways that people sign. And this one in particular is just his initials, TM, Tyrese Maxey. Same thing with this card, Anthony Richardson. This one's somewhat infamous at this point, but I'm going to scroll down and zoom in so that you can see this, and it still doesn't even come close to taking up my screen size. Just a little tiny guy, AR, on this card, and that's frankly embarrassing, especially because he was the lone auto chase, really, in that 2023 National Treasures set due to the exclusive rights from the other manufacturers. Then we've got Willie Fanas with W.F, not even in cursive, just W.F. Here's an epic one, Tony Bradley. He just looks like a cross inside of a BTB, doesn't even begin to take up the size of the sticker. These are cop-outs. I feel like the manufacturers should be able to tell them, we have some expectation that your name is legible, that you write your name, and that it's legible. And if you don't know cursive, okay, I guess print it, but at least you write out your name. Now this one makes me laugh because this is apparently CJ Stroud, but every time I see this, I see like Lieutenant Mao, like LTMOW. I don't understand how this says Stroud at all. I like that he writes number 7. I'll give him credit for that. I get that this could be, CJ, but it looks like LT. LTMO. LTMO, it's a mowing service that comes to take care of your lawn twice a month. Illegible. This is just the squiggle, the epic squiggle. That's not anything. Plus it's streaky. It's a streaky auto. That auto, I would give it an auto grade 7. Very streaky, terrible looking auto, and you could never, in a million years, you could never guess that that's who that is. This one's pretty legendary too, Andres Jimenez. I used to actually have this card, and it always looks like a bow or something, or like a fly fishing lure or something. Just, I don't even understand what that is. I don't know how that could be considered an auto. I think there was a period on some of his cards where he didn't sign like that, but on his Bowman Firsts, I believe they all look like that. Oh, nice auto, Romy Gonzalez, just another squiggle with a little loop. Definitely could tell that says Romy Gonzalez. And then a couple more examples. Kevin De Bruyne, come on, KDB. We all love you, even though I'm not a Man City fan. Epic, fantastic player. That's just not anything. That doesn't say Kevin De Bruyne. That doesn't say anything. It's just 2 lines. Speaking of 2 lines, here's your teepee, your wooden stick teepee in the backyard, just 2 lines right there from Maurice Ager. And then finally, the most egregious auto of all time, just a line with a streak in it, with the pen having been lifted up. Thank you, Cam Reddish. Unfortunately, your career didn't go as planned, and your autographs didn't either. Okay, so we're going to move away from junk autos. Let's move into what I would just call dumb parallels. And honestly, there's just so many examples. I didn't want to spend all day going through all the different examples of parallels, and some of them are highly subjective, but Parker from my team pointed this one out to me. This is called the oil spill parallel. Oil spill. Doesn't look bad. The card doesn't look bad. I like Finest design this year, but as he said, why would you name a parallel after a sad environmental disaster. It just doesn't make a lot of sense. After some kind of like environmental crisis, here's your oil spill parallel. And speaking of crisis, this card is literally called the toilet paper crisis parallel. This is my least favorite parallel. This is so ridiculous that Rob, our producer, just laughed in the background when I said this, because it's toilet paper on a card. I mean, literally, there's a whole bunch of words that I could use to describe this that would be very apropos that I'm not going to say on camera. We'll keep it PG to sensitive ears, but this is a joke. There's toilet paper on it, and this was during COVID. So apparently somebody at Panini on the Donruss Optic team said, we're going to pay homage to the fact that there were toilet paper shortages. Thankfully, this is not a recurring theme, but why not what are they going to throw a plunger parallel in there and maybe some other things? It doesn't make any sense. It's honestly condescending, and it's in an unlicensed baseball product, which I guess at least that's where it belongs, not in one of the mainstream products, but just terrible, terrible crisis toilet paper. And then, look, these cards I just don't understand at all. These snack pack cards out of Bowman Draft. It's a prestigious product. It's the Bowman first, and that's my main issue with it, is that they cheapened it. These cards look like they should be in Topps Big League or in Opening Day back in the day. They don't look like a serious auto, certainly not one that would be numbered to 5, as you can see down here, numbered to 5, that are like a case hit chase in a pack to try to get one of these cards. And some of them sell for big time money, like 4 or 5 figures for the top athletes. And it's peanuts. I get it. It's quintessential baseball. It doesn't mean I need it on my card, or at least not on the iconic auto. They got the bubblegum parallel. They got all these other food parallels. I think in general, I just don't want food on a card. I don't want food on a card. I don't want the hot dog parallels. And I also don't want the watering can parallel. I don't want these ones that they just sort of emasculate the card in general. And they're trying to be funny and do things seasonally with these holiday-themed parallels, the Easter parallels and others. I think you can do those in a tasteful way, just like what they did with the Independence Day parallels and the Memorial Day camo parallels and others that are fitting. They look cool. You put them on the card with the design. The design doesn't look bad overall from last year's set, but it's just dumb. It's just a dumb concept to put a watering can on a parallel. And I chase some of the rainbow parallels for different players, like, for example, Jack Flaherty from last year's top set in his Tigers uniform before he got traded last year and then came back, thankfully. And I'm not picking up those holiday ones. I'm just not including it in my rainbow chase. I just have no desire to own any of those. All right, next one is dumb inserts. And dumb inserts is something, unfortunately, that the manufacturers seem to be getting better and better at, if I'm being honest. I don't really understand it. This one's from a few years ago. This is, I think, 2019 Panini Mosaic. The set is called Stairmasters. And what's he doing? I mean, you have him here. He's like carrying. He's got the ball on his hip. He's just looking off. Stairmasters. Yeah, that's what he's doing. Just staring off into the distance. What does that even mean? And all I can think of is like being at the gym and doing the Stairmaster. It's a terrible concept. Same thing here with Luca, just like deer in headlights. Ooh, just staring off into the distance as if getting one shot of that wasn't enough. We get 2 zoomed in black and white. For some reason, it's not a set that makes any sense. And speaking of, from Phoenix, Rookie Rising, I mean, what's wrong with this one? What do you think's wrong with this card? Why is there a gaseous flame coming out of CJ Stroud's backside on this card? Why does it look like he is preparing for takeoff personally, like enjoyed some of Houston's finest chili? This is terrible. This is a terrible design, and it wasn't just Stroud. It's like somebody had to do it intentionally. Here's Wemby. They did it in basketball too because it wasn't good enough to do it in football. All right, moving on. Uptowns. I already railed on these on cards on the table. I'm already mad that they do downtown, in this set, and Kaboom's over here, and on the horizon, and all of these different things, and vertical color blast, and horizontal color blast, and obsidian color blast, and all these things. But the biggest thing that doesn't make any sense to me on this is it's plural. It should say uptown. They're called downtowns, plural, but the cards say downtown. Why does this say uptowns? And why did we need it? Why did we need it? These seem to be far more common than the downtowns do in general. Just didn't need it. I don't get it. I don't understand the concept. Now, Splash. Here's a set that actually has some cool looking cards and theoretically makes a lot of sense. They tend to put shooters in this set. But when you think Splash Brothers, and you think of Steph and Clay, what do you think of them doing? You think of them hitting threes from deep. Typically, Splash is associated with threes. I'm pretty sure Curry's never shot a one-handed floater three-point shot. Why is this the image that they chose? So technically, this would fit into my next category that I'm going to cover, but the insert itself, they did some goofy things that every once in a while just makes you question it, like putting it into football. Why is splash in football? Nobody says splash to anything in football. Nobody's splashing around in football at all. Here's George Kittle just running with the ball, splash! And also apparently gave you serial numbering, and they didn't put it in optic, they put it into zenith. So, goofy insert to put into football that doesn't really make any sense. And then this one actually, design-wise, really cool, in my opinion. Actually looks really cool. So here we have Royce Gracie, Art of Fighting. And I think these are case hits. And it says Jiu-Jitsu. There's just one problem with this. There's nothing Jiu-Jitsu happening in this picture. So if you're going to create an insert set that's about the art of fighting, why is he just sort of leaning in, about to strike? There's nothing Jiu-Jitsu. You should have a guy in a chokehold on the ground, anaconda style, just like Jiu-Jitsu features. This was one that Parker pointed out to me as he was adding these sets to our database in Market Movers. And he just said, look, some of these, one of them had, it was like supposed to have BJ Penn and had somebody else on it. So you got to get the right photo. And that's what transitions me to the next set, which is just bad photos in general. For me, photography is a huge portion of what I like on a sports card. You're trying to capture a moment. That's part of what is collecting a card is, makes it really cool. And bad photos absolutely ruin cards. Now, I have refined my PC, my Drummond PC, to almost exclusively only want Pistons cards. I have some cards that were gifts from other people and other things that are really cool that I've kept, but this isn't one of the rainbows that I decided to chase, but the photo itself ruined it for me. Andre Drummond's, in his words, I might not disagree, one of the greatest, maybe the greatest rebounder of all time. I know Dennis Rodman, I get it, and Will Chamberlain and Bill Russell and all the others, but there's no denying Drummond's top 5 rebounder of all time. And here he is in the picture just, I don't know, on the high post or maybe the 3-point line, just grunting like he should be featured on a Crisis toilet paper parallel. This just doesn't make any sense either. Let's jump to this one. Don't even think I want to comment. Not really sure what's going on here. Tickle fight? I don't really know, but this one's pretty ridiculous of Chuck Carr from the Florida Marlins. Got a cubby on his heels, we'll say that much. And then this one's just, I don't know if this was a joke, but it had to have been, right? They must have said, this is going to be your card image. And he just said, okay, I'm going to be a wise guy and do this, but that's pretty egregious. If it wasn't intentional, then I'd be pretty embarrassed if I were Chuck. All right, let's move on. This is one that, shout out to my good friend Chris, baseball card addict, just sets him in full-blown trigger mode. Golden Mirrors. Chris always loves the anticipation and looking forward to seeing all the different Golden Mirror SSP images as Series 1, Series 2, and Update roll out every year. And he was very excited to see what image they would choose for Shohei Ohtani, obviously having won the World Series. And apparently they chose him just at a microphone, at the podium. And by the way, they photoshopped whatever brand or something was on the podium off the card. So you just have this white panel here. At least Photoshop it so it's just the podium. Just completely remove that if you have to. But I will give them credit. The Series 2 image, much better, that's coming out. So you'll have to check that out when you have it. But if you're going to have image variations be super short printed of the most iconic athletes, at least, you got to always make sure they're good. You just got to nail it every time. Somebody at Topps loves Bryce Harper. Absolutely loves Bryce Harper, because I don't think Bryce Harper has a bad photo on any card that's ever been made. Unfortunately, that's not the case for Ohtani. All right, Juan Soto. When you're talking about the Bowman first, I've long said my one knock on the Bowman first, and I've warmed up to them a lot over the years, is just that they're young, and a lot of times they don't even look recognizable to how you remember them as they wrap up their careers. Well, here we have a very young very young Juan Soto, but just making that stanky face. Just so could have had a much better photo. It would make Soto's card that much more iconic. Great auto, by the way. I love Juan Soto's auto, so thank you, Mr. Soto, for having a good auto. Don't ever change that, but wish they would have done you justice by giving you a little bit of a better photo. Okay, last category, and this one's going to be pretty quick. This is the 8th category, and that is just bad quality control can absolutely ruin cards. Even some of the coolest cards of all time, including this card, which is one of my favorite cards of all time, the 1996 Finest Kobe Bryant Refractor with coating, the gold from the set, and these were like atomics before atomics. This one's an 8, and it has the peel on, but what you can see is, you know, Kobe looks slightly green in this one, but compare that to what's called the hulking. Just the card is greened. The card is greened, and apparently what this had to do was with some kind of the mixing or the chromium that went into these early cards. A lot of people believe that this is from sun exposure, and Gene from Arena Design, who had originally designed many of the Fleer sets from back in the day, she said that it was not anything to do with that. The hulking was actually not necessarily caused by any of that. It was actually just caused by the cards, you know, being made improperly, or some kind of like chemicals being mixed improperly during the process. Maybe the sun didn't help, but she was part of the Fleer team, not Topps, but I think the principle still stands here. So when you get a card that's greened, what's really interesting is sometimes it seems like the cards were graded before they were hulked. And so I've seen PSA 10s that are like completely hulked out, and there's no way they should have a PSA 10. The eye appeal is terrible. This set, one of the coolest sets ever made, honestly. These 1997 Finest Refractors, and unfortunately these ones pretty much all are hulked out. Now this was like an error one apparently, but the example still stands. I'll show you a really extreme example here with Glenn Rice. I mean, it looks like you put like a green film over the top of this card. So it's really disappointing, because this set, 97 Finest in particular, with the refractors and some of the designs and the die cuts, one of the coolest design sets in history from my perspective, but it's really tough to find cards that are not hulked out from that set. All right, and then lastly, we'll talk about yellowing on acetate cards. And this, I think, specifically is what Gene was referring to from the Fleer sets, this Dunk and Go Nuts. These cards are supposed to be clear, and many of them still are, but apparently some of them not so much. You get these very yellowed out images. There's Kobe, yellow. It's just not a nice look. This one's not as egregious on this Iverson, but you want to look for the clear ones. Those are the ones that have the best eye appeal, that people go after long term. There's a lot of other quality control issues. I could have found the extreme off-center, copies. Just in general today, it seems like over the last few years that quality control for some products has actually just gotten significantly worse. I talked about gem rates last week in my sealed product video, and how like a product like 2013 Prism basketball graded much better than the recent years of Prism basketball and Prism football. So quality control is really important. It can definitely ruin otherwise incredible cards. Very frustrating. Hopefully the manufacturers can continue to tighten up their processes and just make sure that we get, really good looking cards when they come out of the packs, and that will withstand the test of time and not turn green or yellow. All right, that does it for this week's video. There are so many bad cards and so many good cards, and I'd like to know down below from you, what are some other things that I might have missed? Some different things that just drive you crazy on cards, that maybe ruin something, or just some of the worst design sets of all time. I'd love to hear from you. There's the infamous Donruss Brown parallels and so many others. So this was a fun video to make. Obviously, I don't spend my time focusing too much on the negative, but when you see a card that you would really like to have and it's ruined by one feature or another, it's pretty frustrating. So I always love to hear from you. Download Market Movers, check it out, try it out for free with code DIVE and get 20% off any plan. And other than that, until next time, happy investing, keep on collecting, and make sure to have fun.